So, for the first time, I actually think that Trump has a slight favorability to win in November over Biden. And I haven't thought that before. I definitely thought Biden had a better chance. And I'm going to outline my reasoning for why I thought that and why I think what I think now. So, the reason I thought Biden had a better chance is because even though everything that happens is not the president's fault or to his credit, that's how the American people look at things. So the way that this virus has been handled, even though a lot of the problems were because of obstruction through our bureaucracy, the CDC, and our stupid healthcare system that we have, people are going to assign the blame to Trump. Even though this recession is not all Trump's fault, he's definitely encouraged it, in my opinion. But people will assign that blame to Donald Trump. So everything bad that has been happening would be assigned to Donald Trump, aside from people who are in his frothy fan base. So that's why I always thought Biden had a better chance. Even though he's a horrible candidate, he really just had to kind of shut up, stay out of the limelight, and just wait till November. And that's what he's been doing, and it's worked out perfectly. And the polls were very indicative of that. And they were in swing states where Trump did well last time, and Biden was crushing him. I mean, even in some polls in Texas, it wasn't far off. So I always gave Biden the slight favorability regardless of how bad of a candidate he is. But the thing is, people operate out of fear in general before anything else. You'll see, I would say more intellectual people operate out of logic or hope or something other than fear, but most of your average people and your average voters are going to operate that way. And the country is falling apart. And even though Donald Trump is president, a lot of these riots are obviously, fueled, or they're backed up by people on the left in general. And people see that and they're scared of it. And so what they want is someone who says that he's going to put a stop to it. And that person has been Donald Trump. He's threatened the Insurrection Act. He's sent feds to Portland. There's all this stuff that he said he will do, and we know he'll do it. So people don't take into account what long-term freedoms they'll lose. They take into account what is happening right now, who can do something to stop it. And that person is becoming Donald Trump. And, before the riots were as out of hand as they are now, and before as many shootings were happening as it seems like are happening now, it was more of an economic crisis that people would have blamed on Trump, and the Democrats would seem like a new foundation that we could trust in coming in. Okay, look at what Trump's done to our economy. We're going to save you. So that measure of fear would have led everyone to vote for Biden, even though it's stupid. But the tables have turned, and the rioting and the property destruction and the shootings, everything that's happening is starting to scare people more than the economic crisis, because a lot of people still erroneously think that this economic crisis is because of the coronavirus, which it's not. But they think once the coronavirus goes away, everything's going to be fine. So they are much more scared of this spread of, left-wing terrorism in their mind. So the progressives will say that Biden lost because he didn't want Medicare for all. He didn't want he does want a $15 minimum wage, but they keep saying that he doesn't. That he didn't want free college. They're going to blame it on all these things. That's completely ridiculous. I think if Bernie Sanders were the nominee right now and you still had these riots, it wouldn't matter. People are going to vote out of fear of what they see happening in the streets. I think the strongest Democratic ticket you could have had this year was Tulsi Yang. And I think even if you had that ticket, if these riots were still going on the way they are, that Trump would have a good chance at re-election. If the riots don't stop, if they continue, Trump's chances are going to go up. You're going to see more authoritarianism. You're going to see more trampling of civil liberties. I do not support the Insurrection Act. I don't support sending the National Guard to cities. I am personally more scared of the federal government than the rioters, because I could shoot the rioters if they tried to attack me. If I shoot the feds, I'm done. So those are my thoughts. I give Trump the upper hand now. As long as these riots continue and as long as he remains the strong-arm candidate, he has the best chance to win, because people will always act out of fear.